time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scent-Lok Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
EZ Kut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings.
And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight. Man, is it warm out. It's beautiful. I was outside. I got my shirt sleeves on. I was outside just a few minutes ago getting something out of the Jeep, and it is nice out.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
48 hours? 48 hours can do,
right.
Dude?
Yep.
It was so cold.
Right.
That my per plate cackled.
Okay. We're going to talk about the per plate here in a minute. I want to give a quick shout out. Kathy Brucci's in. I appreciate you watching, and you tell everybody in Alabama hello for me. Stay tuned and watch this show because we're going to be talking about big bucks tonight, and I got some stuff to show you. Anna is on as well. Thanks for joining tonight. Before we get going, Danny, I got a little present back here.
You do?
In that bag. Grab that gym bag real quick.
All right, hold on.
I'm not going to tell you what's in it.
Let me try to get this set up where I can watch this.
All right. Here, put it on top of that. Okay.
All right, in this bag.
All right,
I had this bag.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so
I got a present here for you. Go ahead and unzip it. Let me know if you...
God,
if
I
you,
love when he brings me gifts.
Let me know if you sense or smell anything in there.
A pair of shoes?
Yeah, those are my shoes.
Okay.
Do they smell?
They don't fit me.
No, they don't fit you.
Well, maybe they do.
But what else is in there? What's in the one shoe there?
Let's see what you got.
These are my regular shoes that I wear to the gym, to work, every day. You know we've been wearing the new Scent-Lok socks, trying to cut down on foot odor. What do you think, seriously?
Okay, people, I'm smelling his shoes, but...
seriously.
I really don't smell anything.
Those things were nasty, nasty, nasty. And what I did is I used the Scent-Lok OZ machine here. It's the 20B, I believe, model. And it's got a 1 hour and a 3 hour setting. I put them in that bag, in that backpack, and turned it on a 3 hour setting, and it produces ozone, and it totally took away the nasty.
So you just enclosed it basically
in that gym or in that backpack.
Well, I tell you what, the backpack doesn't smell.
Right.
The shoes doesn't smell.
Those were so bad the other day at work. I wasn't wearing my Scent-Lok socks. I was just wearing regular cotton socks, and I was sitting at work doing my job, and I could smell them. You know, that's how bad they were. So I tried this. I'm telling you what, folks. You got to check one of these things out because they're the cat's meow. So just sorry to pull that on you. But
No. It's okay, so...
It's got a 1 hour and a 3 hour setting. You charge it up. It's got a rechargeable battery.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
And you get 8 hours of use out of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. How long?
Yep.
So this is...
It's an ozone generator.
The 20B.
Yep, the 20B.
They're basically a small...
They got the cigarette lighter.
Yeah, I got that one.
For your vehicle.
Yep.
I got one of those for my vehicle. That one, and then they got the bigger canister that that will integrate within your Scent-Lok bag. If you've got one of those, the newer style, it's got the little sleeve in it to put that ozone into your...
I tell you what, that's pretty cool that, using your gym shoes and work shoes as a...
Dude, they were...
guinea pig.
They were rank this week.
That just goes to show you that this is not just a hunting thing.
No,
I think you can use it just about your work clothes, depending on what you do.
Yeah, a lot of people talk about putting it into like a laundry room where they got some stinky stuff in there, where they let clothes sit in there and maybe they get a little nasty before you wash them. All kinds of situations. So, yeah, I just wanted to throw that at you. Hey, Jim Beasley, what's going on? Dave Wilkins.
You know what?
A lot of people joined tonight.
It was funny you mentioned that because I had seen some people post pictures of them using it like in the kitchen.
Right.
Like when they were doing onions.
Yeah,
that's exactly. Yep, same one.
So anyway, that's that. But I want to get started. We got a lot to talk about tonight. So I'm going to kind of let you know a little bit about where I went yesterday.
I know that you posted you were heading. Where is Mike going?
Yeah.
And you posted the picture of you traveling down the highway, and I kind of knew where you were going.
Well,
so there you go. You put a picture up of you traveling down a highway, which the sun was out. Amazing.
Yeah, right?
You had to wear sunglasses.
Yeah, it was actually nice out yesterday. It was beautiful out. But I trucked down the road. I headed south and across state line, wound up in Indiana.
You did. You wound up in Indiana, and
I didn't post too much about what was going on.
No. You were going down there because you were going to go buy some fireworks.
No.
Oh,
No.
all right. So how long did it take you? How long to get to the state line?
From our house, it's about 2 hours.
Weather was not bad. Eh?
Oh, it was beautiful out. It was still cold. It was 15-ish. Later in the day, it got up into the 40s, which was beautiful.
Okay. You know, it's one of those things that Thursday when it was minus something and it was a joy to be outside. Mm-hmm. And you're traveling off to Indiana.
Yep.
Well, how was it?
It was a great little jaunt to Indiana.
They had snow.
They had 2 inches of snow the day before. I'm out on some property here. I went down to look at some hunting land.
Okay.
Me and a couple good friends of mine, they invited me to come down and look at this property and see if I wanted to join them.
Right.
And let's come back here to the regular shot. Kind of set this up a little bit. Before I got down there, you know, I've contemplated some of the things that are going on in Michigan with hunting, and some of the things up in our area. Other situations have just really kind of got me down lately as far as hunting goes. I've put a lot of time, a lot of effort into hunting deer, trying to make our area up north better, trying to lead by example. But, you know, things have just seemed to start to
deteriorate.
In just any way, shape, or form. So
1 step forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah, and that goes with deer management in this state. And I've seen so many people that have taken that step and went somewhere else. And I never thought I would do that. And when I crossed the state line yesterday morning, I almost felt like I was cheating on Michigan.
You were. But let me tell you, you're not the only one to be doing this. So Don't feel like you're the only person crossing the state line.
No, but, you know, I did. I had some angst in me. You know, I felt a little bit bad. Like, you know, is this really what I want to do? But yesterday was the first step at taking the next step towards better hunting, deer management, all the things that I believe in.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
and the way that I like to hunt.
So
these are with like-minded people.
Okay. So let's start at the top. Mm-hmm. This property is under rules and regulations of something similar to following QDMA. Is everything open to the your abilities to have proper doe management and all that? Is there anything that is starting like myself in the UP? Mm-hmm. I can't shoot no does. So QDMA tells me that, hey, you guys got to shoot some does, but I can't. Now, do you have anything on the table that says you have something tied behind your back?
No.
Okay, so
no.
Good.
No, this property is going to, currently is set up great. It's going to be set up better with food plots, with proper buck management and doe management practices. So yeah, it's right in my wheelhouse of what I want to do. And the guys that invited me to this property to join them, there'll be 4 of us total, and it's all like-minded in management, habitat, style of hunting, the whole 9 yards.
Okay, so with that being said, are we looking at? Okay, let's start off with, what do you think about the land in general holding potential deer for harvest?
There's already deer there for harvest. This is the photo right here that I showed up that morning.
Oh, okay.
This is at the far end of the property. We drove through the property to the far end and got out, and we're going to walk around. Okay, we're going to walk around all afternoon.
Yep.
All day. We got on the property 11-ish, I think, right around 11 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, and we're going to spend the day. So,
all right.
You know, as you can see, big ag field. And in this area, it's strictly all agriculture. Around the area, it's all agriculture. This property is roughly 150, 200 acres of woods and probably 400-ish of agriculture.
Okay, and this is true
of the property owner.
And this is true agriculture to the point where these are
cornfields,
working fields.
Yep, this is corn this year. Next year, it will be soybeans.
Okay, so it's one of those things that I guess up in my area they call us an agriculture area, but I can't find a farm within I don't know how many miles.
Right.
It's
well, and that's part of the problem where I hunt here in Michigan. there's no ag for 10, 15 miles.
Right. And,
So-
here you've got ags connected to your woods.
Right. So you can see this is all fresh snow. You can see where we drove in, and you can already start to see that there's tracks here in the snow. But I've took quite a few pictures of just getting around on the property.
So you drove in the property and went all the way to the other end of the property.
Yep.
Your first impressional thought in your mind was,
God, there's a lot of corn.
okay.
You got to remember, I'm used to hunting timber.
Yep.
You've been to our place. It's timber. There's a lot of open land here. This is a whole different ball game of hunting style. To me, it reminded me a lot of when I went to Illinois and hunted with Clint Turner years ago, minus this big pack of woods here. And I'm just kind of bouncing around between these picks here.
And a question from Kevin is, how many total acres roughly? You said 150 woods.
Probably over 600 acres ish.
There you go.
So, and looking at this picture that I got up right now. Okay, Danny, you see?
Yeah.
The tree that's kind of hanging out over the field.
Yeah.
Do you see the two little dots on the far side over there?
Way over there.
Yeah, that's $2.
Oh, okay.
That's the first 2 deer we saw.
All right. So the deer were up and moving.
Yeah, this was later in the day though. I mean, we didn't see anything up until about 3 o'clock ish, somewhere around 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
When did they give you a sense check of how the deer moved? Are they morning movers, all day movers, late movers, or
it's hard to say because when we walked this property, we went in. We weren't really being quiet. He was just showing me around, showing me stand locations, showing me the lay of the land, showing me travel corridors, things of that nature. It's just getting familiar with what was there, But what I want look at the tracks, I mean.
There's definitely deer there. It's not like a track was uncommon.
Yeah, and some of those were old, but
okay,
I'd say at least half, if not more, were fresh tracks.
Speaking of tracks,
yeah.
Okay, so we know up at your place here in Michigan, you've got predation. Did you see anything to that effect about you're going to have to be competing with some predation?
Yeah. Walked in the property, we didn't go 50 yards in, and right there's the first coyote track I saw.
Okay, so you're going to have
and there was coyote tracks over the entire property we walked. Every main deer run, we were seeing coyote tracks.
Okay, so you definitely have some predation that's going to go on, and some definitely go do some predator hunting.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's allowed there.
Good.
Now, the thing about that I haven't said about this property is there's no firearm hunting allowed for deer.
Okay, so you're limited. This is just a bow hunting property.
Archery only.
Is there turkeys on the property?
No.
There are no turkeys, which I find odd, considering I thought Indiana had a good area of turkeys.
I was told that they're probably 5 to 10 miles away, and then driving around this property, I noticed kind of why.
Okay, so
within about 3 miles, that's really probably the biggest woodlot there is.
Oh, so getting there is okay. So actually getting to this spot, most likely if you took the turkeys and planted them there, would be better off than hoping they get there.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Why don't we stop right there? Let's take our first break. We come back. Let's continue the journey on this piece of property. We're going to step outside, and we will be right back in just a moment.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back, second segment of the show.
Talking about Mike and where he was yesterday.
Indiana.
He was in Indiana.
So, yeah, we got out and started walking the property. Had my EZ Kut sling pack with me, just in case I needed to do some trimming. I did bring some trail cams with me, just in case. Didn't hang any.
Okay.
But, there was a few little tight spots that we got in that I did need to do a little snippet here and there just to kind of get through.
Absolutely. You never know when you might, especially when you're walking a property for the first time. Did
you happen to bring your sling pack with you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we got to talk about that.
We'll save that for another time. But it's always good to have the EZ Kut with you.
Yep.
I was wondering, with the amount of people that you in bow only, so you really that's what's kind of nice. You don't have to worry about some guy being on the opposite side of the field with you with a gun,
right?
And you got a gun, and
right?
So, but with bows, it's a little bit different. So
Dean, stay tuned to the end of the show, and I'll show you something.
Okay,
I just seen his comment.
All right. Did you the setup to hunt this? Like at your place that you have now, you have zones that you hunt. This place going to be the same way, or
no? This is 4 like-minded individuals all sharing and hunting the entire property.
Okay.
Yeah, working together.
So somebody could actually say, "Hey, would you use my stand because I won't be there?"
Yeah, or it's just basically first come first serve.
Oh, okay, that's what I was asking. I mean, like on a certain weekend, do you have to like send out an email or something, say, "Hey, I'm going to be in stand 1," and
yeah, it's just letting everybody know where you're going to be. Maybe so you go in together and you kind of team up, maybe hit one end or the other end. Who knows? It's but yeah, working together. And these last 3 photos I showed, it was like this all day. It was just simply deer trail after deer trail after deer trail after deer trail. I've never in my life seen so many fresh tracks on a piece of property. It was just stacked.
Well, I would hope so, considering the agricultural area that it's in. It's got a nice sized woods that they can hide out in. Really, for deer, it doesn't take too much, but
it's got water there. There's a
creek
bottom.
I was going to ask you. So creek bottom. Is there any plans to improve the property besides what's there? Maybe logging it, maybe cutting it, or something of that nature?
Select cutting's already been done.
Oh, okay.
I know there's some tree planting that's going to go on this year in the spring through I believe it's the State Forestry Service. I'd have to double check on that, who's actually coming in to plant the trees. But the thing that really stood out to me is there's no evergreens.
Oh,
it's all timber. Where I hunt, man, it's nothing but evergreens and cedar swamps. We got oak ridges, but for the most part, oaks and maples is really all we got.
Right, exactly. You're just wondering what's the the difference in trees, and you're a few hours away.
Yeah. And Ron Moses says big corn-fed deer. Yeah, and actually compared to here in Michigan, that was the first thing I really noticed. And actually, I got some video to show here at the end of the show of what we did see. So you guys stay tuned on that.
And then that's really cool. But obviously, I can tell you're kind of excited.
Well, it's just the caliber of deer, the way it's set up, the low pressure.
That was my next question. Eventually, was going to be
is key. But I'm going to have to learn a whole new style of hunting.
Well, there's that. So now go back to pressure. This being the 200 acres ish of the land you're hunting, what's the pressure in the area around that?
Big tracts of ag. It's just big tracts of agriculture.
Okay.
Most of the landowners around own big tracts of land.
Right.
Real low pressure. So it's when deer seen us. I mean, granted, we were a good ways away most of the time, but up at our place, it doesn't matter really what time of year it is. Deer see you, they look, yep, human, bang, gone.
Well, that's the difference I think you're going to have hunting down there, where they are used to tractors. I've heard other people do this. They see vehicles driving in fields.
Yeah.
They hear the big tractors out there planting, cutting, and that. So to have people actually out there might not be as bad. There might not
what
be,
it is up in timberland.
Right. When you're up here and you're in the middle of nowhere, and here you are walking, and they, whoa.
Yeah. What's that? And why is it here?
Right. So. Exactly. So, it's really cool that
you're right, Denny.
What did Denny have to say?
He says, "Welcome to deer hunting in the Midwest, the way God intended it to be."
Well, that's the difference between big timber hunting, ag hunting. Now, speaking of timber, are we talking flatlands? Are we talking more ridges and hilltops where the woods are? Because when I hunted in Wisconsin, the ag fields went up so far up the hill and had to stop because
this is a lot of flat. To me, it reminded me a lot of like the Thumb area here in Michigan, or maybe up around the middle part of the state. up around Midland area,
right, where you can see flat for a long time.
But there is undulations in the terrain.
Right. No, what I'm talking about is literally
hills.
The hills have the woods on it, and just a quarter down where it's flat enough that they can get their farm vehicles on is where they plant.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
This area is not like that. So.
Okay. Cool. That's awesome. And they're basically getting just a little bit softer weather than we do. They get their parts of storms. So the deer are looking very healthy then.
Absolutely. The bucks that we've seen, and I'll talk a little more about this when I show the video, they've already been through the rut.
Yep.
And they've already lost their 20-25% body weight. And the deer down there, they're just so much bigger than they are up here. The nutrition, there's more nutrition down there. The weather's not as harsh. The pressure's not as bad. It's pushing them as opposed to what we're used to up here. I mean, my 2 bucks up here on the wall that I got, these are runts. I mean, those are 1.5-year-old dinks.
Well,
down there.
It's southern Michigan hunting where you could let these go, but up north, they're not going to be let go.
Right, exactly. So.
And it's just a different style of hunting. It becomes that, just like Ohio, like Wisconsin. Talking with our friend over in Wisconsin, Steve, the bucks he showed me.
Right.
This is one you would shoot, and this is one you don't shoot. And that's the way it is.
Yep.
So, you sit there, and you change locations, you change style, you change tactics.
Yeah, and that's the thing that it's going to take me a little bit of adjustment on setup, and that's the thing is I ask a lot of questions, about deer browse and deer habitat. What are they eating down here? Why is this run here? As opposed to over here where I would think they would be more apt to go. There's different reasons of why deer do what they do down there compared to what they do up where I'm at.
Is there
just like instead of having security cover and thermal cover, the swamps down there are just basically a travel corridor.
Right. And I don't know if you know this or not, but is there a blackout time on the property? You can't go on it, but could you start setting trail cameras like next week?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's 24/7 access. As long as we check in, let people know that we're going to be there.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. There isn't like I know you have a farmer that's going to be planting fields. Hey, you guys, when I start planting, don't come around.
Right.
But actually, it'd be kind of nice that way you get to meet people, the farmer and everything. Get your trail cameras out there, get some things started. Trying to learn the lay of the land because you were only there for a few hours, and I'm sure there's a lot more to learn.
Yeah, we walked 5.5 miles.
Yep.
Put 5.5 miles on that day, and I'm a little tired. So we'll see how I shoot at leagues tonight.
And it's one of those things. You just it's funny that what a difference when the difference when you see something a different way of hunting, what you're not used to. Kind of scary, but yet kind of exciting. Saying, this is going to be kind of cool.
Right. No, it's definitely. It's definitely opened my eyes to some things, and it's helped me to take that first step. Really, I'm not saying I'm leaving Michigan. I said it's just I'm expanding my horizons. I'm expanding my hunting possibilities. I'll still keep the place that we got up north for now. There's always the option later on. But
right.
As for right now, that's a great place to take the kids and have fun. But if you want to do some serious big buck hunting, I know where I'm going.
Right, exactly. And so now you're walking the property. Did you see anything that grabbed your eye as you're walking the property?
Oh yeah, I got plenty. I took I don't know how many photos throughout the day. I mean the tracks, the main runs, like this photo here. These were just everywhere, and fresh snow is just tracks everywhere. So that was encouraging. Also frustrating because it's like, okay, so where do you put a stand? Really, I mean, you're going to have to hit these lanes. I guess like this old 2-track here.
So do they have trees for tree stands, you think,
Yep.
enough? Or are you going to be more of a ground blind ambusher?
Oh, no. There's plenty of big timber there
Okay,
to put tree stands in. Yeah, ladder stands and stuff like that. And the other thing that walking the property, the rubs, different style of rubs on bigger trees. What I saw a lot of that got me was just brow tine rubs. I mean, just gouging these trees up.
Gouging the trees out where that's a spike in Michigan?
Yeah. Well, in the height, the overall height and the amount of the tree length that was rubbed. And this one here they actually knew what deer made that one.
They did.
They did because of the pattern and the width and everything. They've seen this before and they know which one it is. And
It must be like a spike or something.
Yeah, 2 spikes, 2 big long 8-inch spikes coming out for the brow tines.
Right.
But I mean, this is just what we saw a lot of, And
well, and these are signposts that are out there that you can walk and kind of give you a gist of what's going on here. It's just not the commonality of when seeing rubs. Did you see them consistently or
they're all over?
Okay, all over.
Yeah. Well, when I say all over, like these bigger ones here, these are down in the swamp bottom.
No. But what I'm saying is, it's giving the impression that you have bucks top to bottom of the property.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, from one end to the other.
There you go.
Yep.
Not just well, it looks like it's only the north quarter of the property's got rub. No, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's just depending on who and where is walking at the time.
Right.
Like you said, that was a creek bottom.
And this is a neat little spot here that's going to be turned into like a CRP / food plot field. It's going to be a combination. They're going to plant this for CRP, but then we're going to sprinkle in some other little goodies in there to draw them in.
So, okay, upland birds.
That I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was going to say pheasants or grouse or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't see anything. Didn't hear anything.
Okay.
So, no, I didn't see any of that. But, there may be possibility for that.
CRP field, obviously that'd be good for having little ones in.
Yeah, absolutely. This actually will probably wind up being more of a bedding area than anything, because creek bottom is not very far from here. So there's water, there's going to be food, and there's going to be cover. This is going to be a good spot too.
And when there's ag fields, when they are up and running, that just gives the deer way more cover to lay in and hide in. And I don't think, I know you talked about predation. I don't think is there any bears?
No.
Okay. So that's all I got to worry about is the coyote issue then.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me.
Bobcat population is extremely low. Don't have to worry about that like we do up north at our place.
Right.
So, but I tell you what, let's take our second break here. We come back. We'll talk a little bit about the evening and kind of how things played out.
Right.
All right. We'll step outside. We'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Welcome back. Third segment of the show.
Talking about Mike and his little adventure to Indiana.
Yeah. And if you guys and gals like some Hunter's Blend coffee, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the great people at Hunter's Blend. Go over to huntersblendcoffee.com. Type in the UNJ promo code and get yourself 10% off your order.
Yeah, get 10% up. You know what? People, if you like smooth coffee, they've got the regular blend, and then they've got
black powder,
which is their dark roast. Both smooth. I mean, it's like a smooth, doesn't want to bite you.
D-Nail it. Can I come with you? Unfortunately, no. And that's the one thing about this is it's going to be limited to 4 people, and we can bring our kids. That's kind of the way it rolls. So we talked about topography. Mm-hmm. Talked about you've seen some deer. What else grabbed your eye when you were roaming around this area? Something I don't have a picture of.
Okay.
I do have, but I didn't load it in here. I think they called it honeysuckle thorn or hawthorn and black locust has thorns. And these trees have got thorns. Spikes, yeah. And if you break the branch off, I've seen like on some, like where the branch broke off, and then you know how it will heal itself. Mm-hmm. It grows a cluster of spikes, and it's just
enjoyable.
It looks nasty, It really looks nasty. And
something you don't want to walk into.
No, especially at night.
Or
I should say in the dark, going into your stand or coming out. So
that's what I'm thinking. You talk about a creek bed and stuff like that. One of the things I think, okay, getting into your stand. Mm-hmm. Does it look like you're going to have to be crossing the fields? Or are you going to be?
That's something I was talking extensively about yesterday throughout the day, of different scenarios and different ways to get in, because there was a couple areas that that was discussed about. Okay, it might be a little difficult to get into this spot, and I'm thinking, okay, well we got a creek, we got water we can access, and I'm always thinking outside the box, trying to figure out access points. So there's a couple different ways and a couple things I'm thinking about how to transverse across the property and get into a stand depending on wind condition. And that's going to be a limiting factor.
Okay,
that's one thing. You can't change the topography. You can't change the access points. You're limited to what you have on the property.
So let me ask you, just one area to park in and then walk from there, or
there's a couple areas to park in. Yeah.
Multiple areas to park in.
Three spots to park.
Okay, that's kind of what I was getting at. How do you access the land? All right.
So
cool. So you got your spot picked out?
600 something acres. 600 something acres.
Right.
I don't know. I seen so much. It was just overwhelming. I do want to go back here soon, especially when the leaves get on and it starts to green up. I want to see how much it closes in.
Oh yeah, that's
and really look
open today. It'll be closed tomorrow.
Right. So,
speaking of spring green up, and with that being said, was there anything that grabbed you like floodable land?
Yes, there was some talk about that. The soil is so fertile down there. I mean, it's down the bottoms. It's black soil.
Okay,
good rich soil. Pretty much anything's going to grow there. Yeah, I mean, we do have to pull some soil samples because there's going to be a couple little kill plots, things of that nature, that's going to get planted this year. But if it floods, like you remember years ago down there in Indiana when the Wabash River flooded?
Yes.
And it took like 3 or 4 months. I mean, it was up to the bottom of the freeway, the bridge, and that's a ravine.
Right.
So when they get floods down there, they get floods. And this area is no different than anywhere else down there. You get a planting in there. The only thing we really got to worry about is getting it washed out.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, a spring, after a planting, to get a spring washout would stink.
Yeah. So that's really about the only thing we got to really worry about.
So some of the pictures I've seen the ag stubble. Mm-hmm. Did the farmer leave anything up?
No, nope. And that was a question I had. Is there the opportunity? And that's something we got to find out. Is there an opportunity to leave a patch up?
Okay, what I was going to say is either a patch up or food plot type areas. Mm-hmm. I know, like some farmers will plant, and if you ask them, they'll leave the last whatever
you
rows.
You can pay them for the last 4, 5, 6 rows.
Whatever that is,
right.
and they'll plant what you want.
Right.
So that's under question.
Yeah, that I don't know yet. That's one of the things I got to find out.
Okay, well, you know what? You've been there all for a couple hours, so I'm sure you got a bunch
we were
of
there. I was there all day yesterday.
Right. Well, but not enough time to answer all your questions.
No.
You're going to have questions from now until.
There was questions about, okay, so you're in the middle of nowhere. Where do you stay? I mean, I can sleep in the back of my Jeep if I have to. It's not a big deal. It's big enough I can let the back seat down, put a bedroll in there, and I can make it fine. Or throw a tent out, in the parking area. So
right. Or is there a big enough town around that has a hotel?
That I don't know.
Okay, that you don't know. So
yeah, I haven't checked into that part.
You might find a little cozy little mom and pop place that charges cheap.
Yeah, so that's something got to look into. All those types of things, because out in the parking areas there's no electricity.
Well, there's no electricity, and if you need
there's no water.
Well, two things.
Mm-hmm.
If you need to get back and dry out your clothes because maybe it rained,
right?
Or maybe you need to get back to some electricity because you need to maybe recharge something,
right?
A phone,
right?
Kind of hard to recharge a phone when working off your car battery is okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to make it work. It's just figuring those logistics out, and that's something to work through. I've got plenty of time between now and October 1st, and that's the thing is their season runs from October 1st all the way to I believe January 9th. So
okay,
yeah, a little different than Michigan.
The gun season in the area down there. Do you still bow hunt?
You can bow hunt, but you got to wear orange,
right,
just like Michigan.
Just like Michigan. But okay,
yep.
I didn't know if maybe they shut it down for that, just to almost like leave it as a preserve to let all the deer come in and.
No, we haven't discussed that at all.
Cool,
so.
That's awesome. I know it just there's so many questions.
But we got out and we walked the property, that afternoon, and I want to go back see if I can find this picture again, right here. We walked out into this little opening here, and like I said, there's the two bucks way over there. I mean, I can see them because I know what I'm looking at. Depends on if you're looking at it on your phone, you probably won't see them. But I kind of stepped out, had my binoculars. I mean, I'm checking them out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's 2 nice bucks, and I equate them to what we have here in Michigan, what I normally see. I'm thinking that those were 110, 120 inch deer. Well, the class of bucks, the other thing about this property is the target bucks are 150 to 200 and above. And if you see a 200, I guess I'd probably crap my pants.
Yeah.
But I'm saying anything above 150 inches. I mean, that's the target. That's the minimum. So it's definitely growing for bigger bucks, bigger deer, and then buck to doe ratio, trying to get those dynamics all together.
Did they take a good amount of does off the property last year?
That I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That I don't know.
Kind of just wondering if they, they're going after the does that need to be taken.
I don't think it was hunted a lot last year, to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, I can understand why.
So, but we seen these, and so we decided to slip back in and go back the way we came and kind of cut around and try to get around to where they were at.
And try to sneak up on them?
Yeah, just to see if we could get a better look, So we took, we took a little roundabout way. Let me see if I can find the other picture here.
So how are you two woolly bears crawling through the woods? Nice and quiet?
At this point, yeah, we're trying to, be sneaky foot. And then we come out at this little opening here at this side of this field. And to the left there, up there at the point where just as far as where you can see where the trees end. And we walked maybe halfway up this field edge, nice and quiet, what we thought was quiet. And all of a sudden, boink, out squirts a deer. And out squirts another one, and another one, and another one. And, and they're bucks. I'm like, oh, crap, At this point, I'm fumbling for my phone. Okay?
Oh, okay.
And as, whoops, sorry there. Let me go back to that picture. Getting excited talking about it again here. But we get about halfway, they start squirting out. So I'm reaching back, and I get my phone out, and I'm trying to get it so I can shoot some video,
right?
Because I left my video camera in the vehicle. And I get it up there, and I'm following them and everything, and 16 deer run across.
16?
9 of them are bucks. 2 of them were probably 130-ish inches. Real nice bucks. So, for what I'm used to seeing.
Right. No doubt about it.
And they go by, and I go, I forgot to hit the record button.
Oh.
So got all excited, got jacked up like a dude on Mountain Dew, and got excited and forgot to hit the button.
The record button.
But that's the way it goes.
It is, and that's one of the things you see. You just, like you said, it's a new type of hunting you're going to be encountering.
Well, at this point, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and it's like, I'm getting a little hungry. Let's go to town. Let's get something to eat. Kind of regroup and figure out what we're going to do. And at that point, we went and got something to eat at a little diner, and just kind of decompressed and relaxed and kicked back. So
took about everything what you saw and had some questions.
Asked some more questions. Right. So I tell you what, let's save the rest of this for the last segment of the show, because this is the part where I get really jacked up.
Okay.
So we're going to step outside. We're going to take our next break and come back. We'll wrap up the show, and I'll show you a little video here. So we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Welcome back. Last segment of the show, talking about hunting new piece of property.
There you
looking
go.
at a new piece of property.
And it's one of those things that, and here in Michigan, with the CWD influx of let's kill everything, and we'll save this till next week or another time when the articles that we saw came out this week about CWD in urine and the bacteria.
Yeah, cause of CWD.
The cause of the possible.
If you guys want what we're talking about on that, go to our Facebook page. We've got links
them,
on, and it's just an interesting read.
It's something that make you go hum.
Yep, things make you go
But what it's doing is and this is not Mike, but it's almost getting to the point where they're pushing.
Yeah.
Either they're pushing you to shoot everything, pushing you to stop, or pushing you to leave.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at.
And I'd be interested to talk to Lincoln, who's over in Newaygo, about I don't know if they got final numbers for his area, but just to say, hey, did you hear more shooting around? Just ask him some simple questions that. Because he goes to Saskatchewan
Saskatchewan.
Yeah, that word. To hunt. So, but anyways, we'll talk about that at a later date because you got a video.
Yeah. So, well, kind of backing up just a little bit here. We got done eating dinner or lunch, or whatever, late lunch, early dinner, and it's like I got to ask, do you want to go back to the property and see if there's any deer feeding?
Well, you came all this way. Why would you just say no?
I've got time. Yeah. Let me get, let's get the camera ready. Let's go and let's see what we can see, So, we kind of pull up and start looking and just getting onto the property. And, that's just a quick little pick out the window. And, there's some deer there. You see a good amount of deer. And the thing that really intrigued me, what we saw this night, was the fact the bucks all still were fully antlered. They hadn't dropped their antlers yet.
Well, those that you've seen have, and it looks like I think Josh posted some pictures that they're starting to.
Yeah, right.
So now we're into February, so it's getting to be about that time. They should be starting to go somewhere.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, he's already chimed in here on the comment section. David did so. Cat's out of the bag. Yeah, I'm working with David. So, he's already talking about it. So, I can mention who I'm working with, I guess. I just don't like to give out a ton of stuff unless I've given permission to. So we'll say that. Hey, Nick, thanks for joining in. But so as we drive up on the property, we can see some deer in the field, and we pull up next to one of the big barns, and I sneak around the corner and use the barn for a kind of a blind to hide.
Oh, okay.
Just so I can shoot the video. Now, Danny hasn't seen any of this video. Danny, I want your impression of what's going on here. This is the first group that on the property that we saw, and I kind of label these as we go through. This video is about 8 minutes, but I'm like, okay, we got a buck out there, starting to see some deer, and I'm zoomed in just about as far as I can without digital enhancement.
So this is off your phone, or is this
no?
off your
This is off my camera.
All right,
and yeah, that's a pretty good deer.
A little bit. Actually, you got two nice deers. One's a younger one.
Yep. And the brow tine on that one there, I mean, it's a little bit high up on that left side, but notice the thickness of it, and the thickness of the main beams. It's
he's kind of controlling that field.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, I'm getting jacked up again, watching him mill around.
So I don't know if you know this. Out of that group, I seen 2 bucks. Was there any more other bucks in there, or?
Oh yeah, there's about 8 or 9.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, and like I said, there's 3 distinct big groups of deer that we actually videotaped here, and I kind of took kind of tried to pare it down to where we can actually watch it while we're talking about it. But and notice the size of the does as well, and there's a one photo later on, or a piece of video later on, that my daughter saw, and she goes, "Oh, look at that little doe." And I go, "No, that's not a doe, that's a fawn." You can definitely tell the size difference between these deer and the deer in Michigan, but that deer right there, they've already been through the rut. And they've lost 20-25% of their body weight.
And all hunting seasons are over down there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So they're just now on, hey, let's eat.
Yep. Yeah.
Rut's over, time to eat.
And then here comes another decent deer, milling around out here. And like I said, a lot of the bucks that I didn't even know were out there until I started watching the video, and I'm looking back and watching them like, oh, there's a buck, there's a buck.
Right, exactly, because you're just looking through your viewfinder, right?
Yeah, I'm just looking at through a little tiny viewfinder. And this one struck me as odd. We thought he was a fork at first, a big fork horn, almost like a muley. But then in the video here, I did notice he's got 2 brow tines. But then that left side almost looks like it's a single main beam. There's no other point on it.
Are you're standing next to the barn?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what he's picking up. Maybe you guys just peeking around.
Yeah, maybe these deer are probably 400 yards away, 500 yards away. They're pretty good distance off.
Yeah. Okay.
We definitely got picked off by one doe that was a lot closer. She was only a couple hundred yards away, and she'll come into the picture here in just a minute. But you can see the topography of the land behind. The woods that we're hunting. You can see how the field kind of rolls. You can see that there's a distinct drop off on the backside.
Right, and that goes to the wood lot.
Yeah, and that's kind of the way this property rolls all the way through the fields. So there's good transition points where you could actually use these kind of hills and valleys to sneak to a blind, but the deer use them as well.
Right.
And that's what kind of separated these 3 bigger groups. So it was nice being out and being able to see deer this time of year, seeing that they still had their antlers,
just kind of,
yeah,
they're just kind of laid back and feeding.
seeing what kind of inventory you got, for next
Okay,
year.
so that kind of now that you talk about this,
There she is. That's the one that picked us.
Oh yeah, hello there.
Yeah.
Any when you saw these deer, was there any signs of maybe a late rut going on, or?
Yeah, actually, when we left town from the diner, we saw another group of deer. And there was a buck had his nose up in the air, sniffing, smelling, licking. You could tell he was trying to catch scent of a doe, and one doe was presenting.
Okay.
And it's like, what's going on? You can see here. I mean, the buck to doe ratio is not like greatly exaggerated out of check like it is up at our place.
Right.
That first group we saw in the day, 16 deer, 9 of them were bucks. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we pulled on into the middle of the property, and this is the next set of deer. Now, I did do a digital enhancement of this when I was shooting it, just because these deer were probably a good 600 yards away or more. I mean, they were out there a good poke. But this is a different group of bucks and does.
And you can see that you're not squinting too much to notice that they have something on top of their heads.
No, but the one thing that I was curious about is you look at how many are high and narrow. I mean, that to me is a genetic trait.
Yeah, exactly. That high narrow rack, as opposed to some have that
wide,
go out wide and up. But I'm sure, the ones that I've seen so far on these videos, that seems to be this trait of the deer in this area.
Yeah, yep, definitely. But as far as being spooked, I mean, okay. Now we've been there a few minutes. It's time to kind of get over.
And notice he just trots off.
Yeah. And then they slow down before they even enter the wood line. I mean, it's not like they're high pressured.
They're just
I've seen enough, and I'm going to get out of Dodge.
So far now, 2 bucks have run to the right, and 2 bucks have run straight away from the camera here. And then this guy decides to stay and just look around anyways. So It's not nothing that if you were walking in the middle of the field at them, they're just feeling bumped.
Yeah, that's just the perfect word for it. Just bumping them.
Yep, that's it. They're look at they just ran further back in the field and they stopped.
Yeah,
it's not like sometimes when you see deer here, once you get them on the run, they don't stop till the next county.
Right.
So,
now it was this is the thing that really got me jacked up. I mean,
sure.
The fact that you got a good inventory, low pressure, bucks of that many bucks of that caliber, and being able to hunt in a situation like that versus maybe in what we're trying to do at our place is going to take years to get to this point. I mean, not decades, but maybe 3, 4, 5 years of good deer management and letting them get older, working with your neighbors.
See, the problem is all the okay, that's a good question. Do the neighbors in this area have the same mindset as the people that are hunting this property?
From what I've heard, yes. Yeah, generally speaking.
That makes a big difference because that way if it goes over to the next property,
yep,
it ain't going to get blasted.
Right. And then we went to the other end, and here we are at the far end, and you can tell the light's dropping pretty quick.
Yeah, now. I was going to say the light looks like it's dropping pretty good on you here, and they're just out meandering. They're just doing their nighttime feeding.
Ron Moses, yes, I was smiling all the way home, definitely. So, and that's the thing, man. Is okay. Michigan's not far away from Indiana; it's right next to it. With proper management, this state could do some of this stuff.
I think in some part of this state we do.
We do in the southern part, and I know agriculture plays a huge role in these deer, especially the big bodies. I mean, they're well fed, they've got food, year round. And you notice here by the end of the day too in the video, most of the snow is melting off. I mean, we had snow that covered the whole ground. If you saw the pictures from the beginning, of the show
now you got open ground seeing.
Yeah, and they're pawing through and getting the spoils off the field.
Yeah, and they got a lot of field to choose from here.
Right,
so it's not just they're going to be done with this field in one night and they'll
here now. Watch, there's a deer in the background comes into the picture, and it was so grainy I couldn't see it, but I knew it was a big body deer, and all I could see was bone. And all of a sudden, bang, he disappears. That one has got me very curious.
He just wanted to give you a little tease.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good sized buck, but I really don't know. But that's the video I shot there. So it's going back through the beginning here. Let me come off that shot. So, yeah,
pretty cool. I think Michigan could be like this a lot. I know there's a lot of people that do not like the Northwest 12, 13. There's a lot of people that complain about it. You're hunting for big racks. You're hunting for whatever.
What's that mindset? I don't understand. I understand, like, nobody wants to be told what they can and can't shoot. Here, I'm being told what I can shoot. You need to follow these parameters, and I'm okay with that.
Well, it's also the fact of that.
Is there anything says that I'm going to go down there and I'm going to shoot, a buck that caliber? No, I might hunt there 3 or 4 or 5 years and never sling an arrow.
You remember, you got to get them within 60 yards.
Bingo. So it's there's no guarantees.
There's no guarantees to it, and there's data in the Northwest 12 here in Michigan that says the buck's improved, but you can shoot a doe.
Absolutely.
What's wrong with shooting a doe? Everybody complains you can't eat the horns.
Right.
So go shoot a doe.
Exactly.
And the state land in those areas are improving as well.
Absolutely.
It's a whole area being improved.
Absolutely. In this state, if you got the hunters together and the DNR together, there's no reason we couldn't mimic a lot of this, of what's being done. There's no reason. In the state of Michigan, that's why I'm going. That's why I'm leaving.
Well, we've got some other issues in this state that want you to eliminate everything in X amount of county because of something.
Yeah.
But there's more stories coming out that you might be barking up the wrong tree by doing that.
Yeah.
Or getting rid of that because, well, really, that doesn't cause it.
Yeah. And you got kids out there, to get them interested in hunting and getting them out in the field, I really got no problem people shooting their first buck being a small buck. And with the rules the way they are right now, I don't have a problem with people doing that, but with all the arguing and infighting that's going on, there's ways of managing our deer herd, making it healthier, number one, and getting more people involved in hunting. And that's the big thing right now is let's get these kids involved. And what better way to do it? You should see my daughter when she saw that video. She was like just jacked.
Right, exactly.
She's like, okay, I'm gonna start practicing shooting my bow starting in the spring.
Right, exactly.
As soon as the snow goes.
It's just education.
Yeah. So
there's nothing wrong with letting shoot. I think the state has to help it and not scare it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm having a really hard time with the state getting to a point they're starting to scare people.
Yeah, and we'll dive a little more into that here in the upcoming weeks. Like I said, there's a couple articles out there that we posted or we shared this week. They're not ours, but the things that there's some new research going into this. It's taking a look at a different avenue.
And the one about the urine was by a Colorado scientist,
yeah,
which they've used in the past. His work, for some of the stuff.
Yep. So. It's just some things to look at, and I don't think we'll leave any stone unturned. You need to look at all possibilities because somebody might pick up on something, and it might lead us down a different road to the truth. Instead of guessing and beating our head against a wall. I'm always open to people doing some different studies or looking at things a different way and coming up with solutions.
Yeah, and then there's that other article we saw out in Wisconsin that now that they're saying crossbow hunters are shooting too many deer. I'll leave that alone.
Denny Steiner says, if you hunt that area for 4 or 5 years and don't fling an arrow, I don't know you. That's good, Denny. Oh, I promise you, I'm going to do everything in my power to fling an arrow.
Right.
Yeah. So speaking of, we got to wrap up the show because it's 5 o'clock and we got to be at the range in an hour. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up the podcast portion here real quick. And for those of you who are still on, if you got a quick question too, we'll entertain those. But for those of you on the podcast, sorry you didn't get to see the video. You got to come back and look at the live stream, and you'll be posting that.
I'll post it on Wednesday on the website.
So make sure you tune in and take a look at the last segment. Watch the whole thing actually, but you get to see it there. So that'll do it for us this week on the Up North Journal podcast, folks. Y'all take care. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Scent-Lok Technologies,
Scent Blocker,
Rambo Bikes,
Hunter's Blend Coffee,
Limb Walker Game Calls,
Stanislawski Releases,
Copper John Sights,
EZ Kut Outdoor Products,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Sense Hunting Sense,
X-Stand Tree Stands,
Spot Shooters,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.